Here's a look at your rundown for Tuesday. An exclusive set of stories on two different meth operations in Greene County being busted up by the Greene County Sheriff's Department. Also giving you an update on the alleged abduction case from last week, just in the sense that it is still being investigated, but we're getting a lot of questions about that. Another terrible wreck has been reported on Johnson Avenue in Jonesboro this morning. It was actually requiring a medical helicopter on the scene. And the Imperial Dinner Theater making a comeback in Pocahontas. A lot of folks are going to be excited about this one after a lot of different troubles have set the Imperial back. It's all next on NEA Report. Let's get to it. A meth operation in Marmaduke is busted up after Greene County Sheriff's Department spent a couple of months on an investigation with tips from confidential informants and more. We're telling you all about that tonight. It's first on NEA Report and an exclusive to NEA Report. And let's run through this story as we speak. If you'd like to read it yourself along with us, NEAReport.com, the crime page has the full details. Lindsay B. Ingram, 30, of Marmaduke, facing felonies, including 3 charges for delivery of meth, 3 charges for use of a communication device, 3 charges for distribution near certain facilities, a felony paraphernalia charge, and a felony possession charge. And she's one of several charged in the case that began on July 27th when Captain Mike Riles was speaking to a source that later became a confidential informant. The source said that at the 1000 block of Lillian Boulevard in Marmaduke, at an apartment, that Ingram was operating a drug enterprise. That's the word used, by the way, in the police report. According to the source, they had bought drugs from Ingram multiple times. Now, by July 30th, police set up a controlled buy. That's where the authorities put a recording device on the informant and then give them some cash and instruct them, well, basically to gather evidence for the authorities. And that's what happened. By July 30th, police set the informant up and they made a drug purchase in which a small amount of meth was purchased. That happened again on August 6th and again on August the 9th. We're scrolling through the story here on NEAReport.com as we're now taking you to the part of the story where police began their actual, moving in on the apartment. It was on the afternoon of August 13th that Sheriff David Carter, he was part of it all, right in the middle of it, along with Greene County Sheriff's narcotics team and the SRT team, who all executed a search warrant at the address that we mentioned. And that's when authorities went in, but they didn't just leave with one suspect in custody. They made entry through the back door and they found Ingram along with 3 other suspects. All 3 were taken into custody without incident. That's when police began searching and they found meth and a ton of drug paraphernalia, everything from pipes to scales to bags and all that kind of stuff in between. Suspect Stanley Carter was found in a room with a small black bag which seemed to have been tossed into a closet, and once searched, meth was found in that bag. He denied it was his, but he will have to face a possession charge for that. Suspect Patricia White was detained and her purse searched. Meth found inside of it. She denied it belonged to her. She will also be charged. Suspect Christopher Massey, a probationer, was found to have a Tudor pipe and glass pipe on his person. During a taped interview, the report said he admitted it was his. All of the suspects were detained without incident, according to the report from the Sheriff's Department. And if you'd like to read more about this report, it's NEAReport.com. See this right here? It's the crime tab. I just wanted to show you that so you guys know exactly how to find this story or any other stories in relation to crime across Northeast Arkansas. Staying in Greene County now with another suspected meth dealer taken off the streets by the Greene County Sheriff's Department. This time on July 16th was when the investigation began as Captain Mike Riles was contacted by a confidential informant. A white male subject was reportedly selling methamphetamine and had been going unnoticed for some time. This was at the 1000 block of Walker Street in Paragould. So investigators began their investigation with the confidential informant. On July 18th, they set him up to go and, do the controlled buy. They did it again on July 24th and again on July, it looks like 30th. By August 2nd, they were continuing those controlled buys, but on August 16th, it was D-Day for Mr. Gramling. It was then, on August 16th, that Sheriff David Carter teamed up with members of the Greene County Narcotics Team and the SRT team to conduct a search warrant at the target's address. And the SRT team made entry, and they found Kyle Gramling and a female later identified as Natalie Earls, according to the police report. The SRT team detained both subjects without incident, and a search of the residence was then executed. Whenever they did that, they found a gray box inside the bathroom, and in that box, what did they find? 10.3 grams of meth. After that, they also located several used syringes, spoons, a set of scales, empty baggies, more meth, and a pill bottle. The suspects were taken into custody and transported to the Greene County Jail. The female arrestee was released without charges, but the male, which is, of course, Mr. Gramling, not so lucky. He's facing a number of felony charges. Every charge you're seeing on the screen is a felony, and, of course, that's well over 10. He's, of course, going to be facing the judicial process in Greene County for those acts. Because you asked, I want to let everyone know a little bit more about what's going on with this case in Greene County, the alleged abduction and rape that was reported last week that led to a man being incarcerated for a few days before being released after authorities were able to confirm it could not have been him based on security camera footage that showed him literally somewhere at the time that the attack was reported. Those allegations of a reported rape and abduction are still being investigated. We don't know what that means. We don't know where the case is at right now, and we understand that. Authorities need time to work through this and work through all the information, the interviews, and whatnot. However, I do want to let everybody know, since everyone's sending me a bunch of questions about it, I do want to let you know, yes, the case is still under investigation. According to the sheriff, there's no threat to the public based on the reported acts. You can jump to a million conclusions with those words, but the truth is, and the fact is, there's no conclusion we can reach yet based on the information we have that is safe or an educated one. But yes, we're all going to be looking at this case very closely, and we promise to continue to follow up on this one over the next few days. We're not leaving it alone. We're just letting the investigators do their thing. And once they have more, you'll be the first to know. A terrible traffic accident this afternoon was once again reported on Johnson Avenue, this time Hilltop, the area. It was actually reported right around the area based on what we're seeing from Jonesboro E911 at 3709 East Johnson. They're saying that was right around where I think Firehouse Subs would be. So I've got the report now, and here's what it says. At 10:57 a.m. this morning, two vehicles were both traveling westbound on Johnson Avenue. It says that they were traveling in the outside lane of travel west of the intersection. It says that Vehicle 2 had come to a stop, Vehicle 2 being driven by Charlie D. Thompson, Jr., a Honda Shadow, a motorcycle. It says Vehicle 2 came to a stop, Vehicle 1 failed to stop, and the front bumper of that first vehicle, a Toyota RAV SUV 2003 driven by Cammie M. Brewer, struck the motorcycle. It says that the Vehicle 1 operator was transported from the scene to NEA Baptist Hospital by an ambulance. Apparently the other vehicle was, the other driver rather, was transported by Hospital Wing to Regional 1 Health in Memphis. Both vehicles, rather, were towed from the scene, and that was done by Keg Towing in Jonesboro. I don't have conditions on everybody involved. I don't have a lot of information on that, but I did receive the names just a short time ago from the Jonesboro Police Department. Wanted to pass that along to you. Of course, we've reported a number of times here on NEA Report just how dangerous Johnson Avenue seems to be. It's one of the more dangerous roadways in NEA, and in Jonesboro specifically, it seems like every week, at least once, we're reporting an accident of serious nature on that stretch. Our hopes are that those involved with this accident pull through. The city of Jonesboro is planning a volunteer mixer on August 30th, and you may not have heard of one of these before, which is kind of a neat concept. From 5:30 to 7 p.m. on the first floor of the Municipal Center on August 30th, of course, we're talking about downtown, it's going to be what's called a community networking mixer. Basically, individuals and groups of volunteers are being invited to connect with representatives of nonprofit agencies around the city. It's a neat concept, an idea based around Jonesboro's volunteerism. As Mayor Harold Perrin said in a press release, it's one of the most volunteering and kind and giving communities, well, in his words, that he's ever seen. Organizations, volunteers, and those who may be just more interested in this whole idea of volunteerism are encouraged to attend. The event will also debut the relaunch of the city's volunteerism website, cojvolunteer.org. It contains the Jonesboro Community Connection, which is a free comprehensive database providing volunteers the ability to choose among Jonesboro's many service programs. You can head to NEAReport.com and visit our community page if you'd like to find out more information.
Family Medical Clinic of Walnut Ridge and Bono are your neighborhood healthcare providers, and we're now accepting new patients. We know you have a tight schedule, so we're here 6 days a week at both locations from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Walk-ins are welcome. In Walnut Ridge, stop by 1045 West Main Street or call us to make an appointment, 886-8300. In Bono, we're on Highway 63 North or call 930-9990. Walnut Ridge Family Medical Clinic and Bono Family Medical Clinic, here for you when you need us.
With a crowd of over 100 volunteers, the We Are Family renovation began on Sunday at the Imperial Dinner Theater in Pocahontas. It's been underwater for a little bit, not literally underwater the entire time, but it was literally underwater at least partially for some period of time, and the dinner theater has been closed for about a year. All the flooding stuff that's been hitting East Pocahontas and others has caused trouble for the folks at the Imperial. In fact, with the 3 or so 100-year floods happening over the span of just a few years, a lot of folks worried and wondered about the future for the Imperial Dinner Theater. It's built in East Pocahontas across from Black River Technical College, and that area is prone to flooding. Well, now it's hopefully going to be developed and renovated with waterproofing. That's the idea. As they were giving the presentation over the weekend under the watch of the Delaplane Fire Department, volunteer fire department, it was generators and flashlights that brought power into the building, but it was obviously a lot more than electricity that was getting people amped up in there. It was their excitement for what could be the return of the Imperial Dinner Theater. They unveiled a new logo and the project launch with Andy Evers and Shane Cummings there, who have both done so much for the community to try to promote the arts and to give folks a place to learn. And so they're calling it #WeAreFamily, and you can donate online if you want to actually help out the Imperial. If you want to do this, just visit the Imperial Dinner Theater's Facebook page. You can also go to imperial.willattend.com, or you can go by the Imperial and write a check itself. By the way, Imperial Dinner Theater's Facebook page is the place to connect if you have more questions, if you want to know more about how you might be able to help, or if you're just looking for more information. But we love the Imperial Dinner Theater here. They've done great things in Pocahontas and Randolph County and for NEA as a whole. And we're excited to see the possibility and the effort to bring them back. And we look forward to attending our next production with the Friends of the Imperial in NEA Report. Let's check in with your New Wave Wireless weather, home of the $49 iPhone screen repair. Want to let you know before we look at your 5-day forecast that the storm survey team from the Weather Service office in Memphis wrapped up their survey in Greene County this afternoon. The preliminary results from Monday evening storms included an EF1 tornado that began 7 miles west-southwest of Paragould and lasted for 2.5 miles. Peak winds at about 90 miles per hour. Also, an EF0 tornado was reported east of Marmaduke with a path of 0.75 miles, peak winds at 70 miles per hour. Of Of course, more details are probably going to be released about that as we move forward, but we wanted to get that information out to you because a lot of folks were watching the weather yesterday, wondering just exactly what was going to be happening. Speaking of the weather, here's what it looks like for tonight. A cooler day, by the way, this afternoon. Enjoy that very much. And tonight, 67 for the overnight low. Tomorrow, look for mostly sunny skies and a high near 84, and cooler on Thursday with a high around 81 degrees. It's going to feel nice on Friday, too, but it's going to be a bit warmer. A high around 86 and a 20% chance to see a few spotty thunderstorms. That's not in the forecast for Saturday, though. Up to 90 and a mostly sunny day expected for Saturday. Same story for Sunday, except just sunny skies on the way. No clouds expected. It's 80 degrees at the Jonesboro Municipal Airport right now, and we've seen some overcast skies out there. The sun doing its best to peek out this afternoon, but some days, all it can do is try. It's that time once again that law enforcement is going to be participating in a drive sober or get pulled over campaign. It's now through September 3rd, of course, for the Labor Day holiday coming up. And it's very important for folks to remember this, because even if you do get behind the wheel, and even if you aren't a big threat to others, if you get pulled over and they detect that you've been drinking, your life will change in a way that is not positive. And that is probably the least of your worries, because what if you drive drunk and you end someone's life? Or what if something to that effect where you permanently damage or disable someone else? It's just not worth the risk. Please, folks, don't make the terrible decision. According to the NHTSA, over 10,000 people were killed in drunk driving crashes in 2016. Just an unbelievable number to imagine. In fact, it says over 2016 Labor Day holiday period crashes between September 2nd and September 6th. 433 fatal crashes nationwide. More than one-third involved drivers who were drunk. That is something that can change, and we hope this holiday season you'll help us by making the right choices. Thanks for joining us on NEA Report. Just a reminder, you can find the latest headlines 24/7 at NEAReport.com, including some stuff we don't talk about here on the show. You might even find ways to save a little bit of money if you head to our money page. You never know what we're going to throw online. I'm Stan Morris, and you're up to date on NEA Report. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 3 p.m. with more news from Northeast Arkansas.